So outside of having to do this as a requirement for a class with community service, why do you actually serve? While you're pondering that, I'll give you my answer. I serve because I believe that's our rent that we pay to stay here on Earth. So that's why I chose the Arkansas Food Bank to go and volunteer at. I volunteered there on March 11th. The goal of my speech today is to explain how my service experience connects with my communication principles, concepts, and ethical implications. First, I'll tell the story of my service. Second, I'll analyze the story from a communication standpoint. And last, I'll talk about communication recommendations and implications. Now on to my story. I volunteered at the Arkansas Food Bank, which is there on the screen. According to ArkansasFoodBank.org, the Arkansas Food Bank is the foundation in the fight against hunger to find pathways to connect people, resources, and food to those in need, providing dignity, hope, and a brighter future for all Arkansans. On to my story. When I got there that morning, I thought I was just going to be there by myself. I wasn't going to know a lot of people over there. But surprisingly, I pulled it up and I saw a whole bunch of UALR students there. That morning, one of the groups were volunteering there. That was great, volunteering with them. There were also many veterans there. That was great to see them there, them giving back. Also saw many individuals from various corporations around Little Rock. It was good to see a whole bunch of people from different aspects giving back. Picture in the lower corner here, that is the warehouse where we volunteered at. The main task that day was to separate all the food which were on bins, on crates. We separate those into specific bins. There would be a breakfast food bin, a baby food bin, snacks, cookies, you name it, it was there. And by separating that food, it made it easier for the food bank to get those different types of food out to the homeless, hungry Arkansans. Now on to my communication concepts. The first concept I chose was flow. According to Lane, Averdale, Gooch, 2016, flow is being absorbed in a task while feeling competent to meet it. An example of that for me would be volunteering there. We didn't realize we were there for 4 hours because it went by so fast. We were all excited to help a good cause, and we're just enjoying it. My second one is goal. And according to Lane, Averdale, Gooch, 2016, is an outcome a person or group wants to achieve. An example from this service, from my service, illustrates this concept. It's goal to get all the food into its appropriate bins so that it can be distributed to all the Arkansans. I chose this definition because before we went to the warehouse, our supervisor gave us all that we needed to achieve, and we achieved it. The relevant communication principle is inevitable. According to the ULR Survival Guide 2017, this is a you cannot communicate idea. All behavior has symbolic potential and can be interpreted by others, whether we want them to interpret our communication or not. While I was there in the warehouse, while I was carrying like certain foods to a particular bin, someone would look at me, and I wouldn't actually be communicating to them verbally, but they could look at me and say I was carrying a certain item to a certain being. Finally, I will share with you communication concepts and civil implications that improve my communication with my community. One communication concept that I could use to improve my community would be active listening. According to Lane, Averdale, Gooch, 2016, it's a type of listening where we feature verbal and nonverbal responses to them that let them know that we are paying attention and taking responsibility for understanding our needs. During this project, I had to use a lot of active listening as we were getting directions. I can use this concept to improve my communication by getting a better understanding when I'm listening to someone so that I don't say anything that offends them or misconstrues their words. A simple implication I could use to improve my community would be concern for community. The definition according to ULR Survival Guide 2017 is committing the practice of daily actions, interactions, and performances of engaged citizens that promote a co-creative experience. I chose this implication because, based on my service experience, with my interaction with others, we create a co-community experience. I can use this implication to improve my community by working with others to help the less fortunate. This was a prime example. We had veterans, people working in corporations, students all there for great good. Now, in conclusion, I've explained how my service experience connected with all my communication concepts, principles, and applications. I've told the story of my service, analyzed the story from a communication standpoint, and lastly talk about the implications and recommendations. Hope you all enjoy my presentation, and always remember services of rent that we pay to stay here on earth. Thank you.